Welcome to the Healing Hour, and this is Tyhson Banighen, the Illuminator, and I'm with you for the next hour to answer all your questions on dowsing, energy healing, and of course the topic today is the short path to enlightenment. Why struggle when you could get there with ease and grace? So that's the topic for today, but don't forget you can phone in and get your dowsing request, your short clearing taken care of. You can use the toll-free number 1-866-369-7464. We'll just put that on the screen now. Or you can also just remember it as 1-866-Dowsing. That will get you right through to the call, and we'll be able to take your request. You can also join me by clicking the Be Live link, which is in the comments right here. It will be in the show notes as well, wherever you're listening to this broadcast. Just click the link and it will bring you on live right here beside me, and everybody can get to see you, and you can help co-host the show. All right, so this is the short path to enlightenment. This is the healing hour. And for the merry month of May, we're halfway through the merry month of May. So we're standing by for your call, and let's get going. So while we're waiting for you to phone in, I'm going to head over to the Dowsing Energy Healing Close Facebook group and take a look at the requests that are coming in there. First of all, I'd like to thank my tribe for being active and participating in the group. We are close to, I think, 1,806 members. So closing in on 3,000 in this tribe, and 3,000 people can bring about a lot of change and transformation, both personally and collectively and on the planet. So working together is the way to go. So if you're listening to this show, and some of you are, to your network and let people know that we're live now. So Kelly Jean McGray, thanks for showing up. Natalie Jerry Wilson, also thank you for showing up. And here comes only Janet Charette. She's standing by in the lobby. We're about to see her any moment now. I can see her name, but not see her appearing yet. So she's incognito. She has the blanket of incognito. So while we wait for Janet, oh, there she is. She has shown up. All right, we're going to put her in the broadcast. So I am notifying everybody that Janet, the one and only Janet, is about to arrive. There she is. Under his cloak.
Hello.
There you are. Hi. I thought you were doing a Harry Potter there for a while.
No, I changed an appointment so I could be here. So that's all. I had to do some magic to show up. Yeah. So it's done.
Right.
Gotta find you.
Well, good. We're trying to get some other scaredy cats to join us live here. We know that Kel's listening in, and we know Natalie is listening in, and if Janet's brave enough, why don't you to click the live? And if you don't want to be seen, which I can understand, maybe that's, then why not phone in toll free? The number's on the screen, 1-866-974-64. The topic for today is the short path to enlightenment. And I got a comment from the one and only Orange Cowboy. I know this is his favorite topic. I don't know if he's just going to listen in or he's going to actually join us, but we will. So Sally Bueller says hello. So Sally, do you have any clearing questions, requests that you'd like to ask, or would you like to phone in toll free and get your questions answered? Don't forget, it's very simple to do. It's toll free in North America. Just put it up on the screen. Phone in 1-866-374-64. If you're listening in, please share this to your network so other people can join us on the show today. All right, without further ado, I'm just going to go over and get the show rolling by answering some requests from the tribe in the Dowsing and Healing Facebook have for personal Clearing Tuesday. What do you want to have help with to clear or let go of today? This could be trauma, unresolved emotions, family of origin, past life, matriarchal, patriarchal child, and the new one that isn't in this list is, of course, your family of origin and your soul family. So we have 5 comments. So let's go see what the requests are here. Also, Marie Michelle Turcott says all of the above. All right, so we will unclear for all of the above. That's a good one. And Nat RN says, first of all, Tyson, thank you. And secondly, I've read that all pain not forgiven. Wow, is that ever true? Pain is something not forgiven. So I'd like to clear any blocks that might be forgiving myself and forgiving of love, light, and peace. Nan, well, that's a really powerful one. All pain is something not forgiven. All right, Brenda Brown, unresolved emotions because I have been put down so many times. It's hard for me to let go of believing in myself. It's hard to let go of believing in myself and my abilities on what I can achieve. I have important projects on the go this time. It's working to help homeless off the streets and prevent it from happening. It's free magazine and sustaining it, especially finance of so much. Thank you for caring. Yeah, millions slipping through. Yeah, we don't want millions slipping through. It would be nice. The short path to enlightenment includes wealth and prosperity and abundance. And no, we don't want millions of opportunities cents slipping through our fingers. So, yes, learning how to clear your bioenergy field so that you can match the energy that you so deserve to show up in your life is really the short path to enlightenment. If you can be at the same frequency on radio, what do you say, Janet? You say not radio abundance. Is that how you say it?
Well, Derek Riddell coined the phrase like you're broadcasting at K-Lac, and the universe is delivering at K-Rich. Like the station would be K-Lac and K-Rich. So you're asking the question, and you got your package. You have to go to where it is. If that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So tune your radio station, which is your bioenergy field, to match what you want to show up in your life, and poof, it's like magic. It's like Janet just did right now. She became uncloaked through the magic of the internet and showed up on the show. So it's just energy. If you're not on the right frequency, Janet doesn't show up. Janet doesn't dial in. She doesn't get to participate in the show. It's the same with your bioenergy field. If you're not attuned to the K-Rich channel, it doesn't show up. So that's the short path to enlightenment. At least one of the parts of the path is keep it simple. This is not complicated. And there's many ways to change your bioenergy field. Of course, a number of them, which are really quite straightforward, is 1, clear all trauma, unresolved conflict, core fractures, all that no longer serves you. And the biggest thing is what was mentioned in the request is gratitude. An attitude of gratitude goes a long way. And of course, the Ho'oponopono prayer really helps too. I love you for whatever's showing up in my life because I called it into my life. I love you and I'm sorry because I have this circumstance in order for me to learn that it's an inside job and there's something I need to change inside of myself. So I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm forgiving myself because I figured it out. You wouldn't need to be in my face to remind me that I haven't figured it out. So I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And thank you for showing up so I can get this done on the inside so the prosperity can show up on the outside. Part of the short path of enlightenment, that's another hot tip, is the attitude of gratitude, right? The first tip was, get off the channel of K-Lac and tune into the channel of K-Rich, okay? So you heard it here. So Sally Bueller says, family origin known and unknown. that hold me from connecting to my higher self at all times. Please clear blocks for all my fast track to complete surrender to just be. Yeah, thank you, Sally. It really is a bit of a conundrum, isn't it? First step is take back your power, stand in your truth no matter what. Be really clear where your boundaries are. You know, forgive yourself for all that you didn't do or need to do or should do or coulda, woulda, shoulda. Let go of all your pain and suffering and poor me and that I'm not good enough, and believing in yourself and loving yourself unconditionally is sort of the first step, is let yourself off the hook. Second step is once you got all that together, guess what? You get to surrender. You get to surrender to the divine. You get to surrender to all that is, or the divine mother. And when that letting go, which can seem like, oh my God, I could be dying. Oh no, poor me. Where's my ego? I got to hang on to it. I won't know who I am. But when you let go of all that and just show up, then miracles can happen in your life. And it's that surrender, that complete surrender, Sally Bueller, that you're talking about, that allows that transformation to change up in your life because you just tuned in to the channel of prosperity, abundance, ease, and grace, where you're aligned with the universal energies, the planetary evolutionary intent, and your life becomes full of ease and grace because there's no more struggle, because you and it and everything else in that moment are one. So what could be better than that? So when it's not one for you and you know that it's a bit draggy and it's a bit suffering and there's a lot going on, that's the time to do a short or long clearing, to clear yourself, to get rid of what you don't want, give it back to Divine Mother or give it to Mother Earth to reprocess or repurpose it, and then install what you do want. So let's just do a short clearing around all that, because I know it's one of the big ones for everybody out there. Clearing of for the family of origin, the higher, both the patriarchal, matriarchal, and soul family lineages, and it goes something like this. So if you have a pendulum, you can join me. If you don't have a pendulum, use your index finger and rotate it counterclockwise and say along with me, I, Tyhson Banighen, you say your name, in my holy name, undertake this clearing of all non-beneficial energies and unresolved emotional traumas and conflicts that are in myself and in my lineage, both matriarchal, patriarchal, and my soul family. And I undertake this clearing with the assistance of Divine Mother and Divine Creator of all that is, to clear me through the multi-dimensional levels of my reality and throughout all time, space, and dimensions. And because all of this has shown up in my life for my own learning, I say, I love you, I am sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And then you say, I declare it so in my holy name, so be it, it is done, thank you. So that's the short clearing. So now you cleared what you don't want, Sally. You do want to install what you do want. So I'm assuming that what you would like is more prosperity, abundance in your life, to move from K-Lack to K-Prosperous channel or K-Rich channel. So let's do that. So spinning your pendulum clockwise, or imagining a vortex that's rotating clockwise, or spinning your finger clockwise, install something that goes like this. I, in my holy name and my divine right, being one with the universe and created and connected to and the creator of all that is, asked to be installed with the feeling of being totally abundant and rich in every moment, to be prosperous, to know where I am, that I'm in the right place at the right time, for my life to flow with ease and grace. I ask for abundance to serve others and for the most benevolent outcome of all concerned. I desire to create heaven on earth, and for this, all the wealth and abundance is available for me and these goals, and I declare it is done. So the higher the giving of yourself in service to the greater whole, whether it be humanity, planetary cleanup, planetary stewardship, heaven on earth, are there. And here is the one and only Orange Cowboy showing up in the lobby, and we're going to bring him right in the show right here, right now. He's waving at us, and he's going to be right here beside us in just a sec. We're notifying everybody. He's still waving. We still don't. Here he is. Welcome, Swami, to the show.
Joy, joy,
You're
joy.
live.
I am live.
Yes, joy, joy, joy. And thanks for showing up, because I know this is your favorite topic. The short path to enlightenment. Why struggle? Why be in pain? Why suffer? Why not bring in joy? Well, why not? Yeah, why? Yeah, I guess two V's make a W, right? So two peace signs. I don't know if I can get that. Where's that? Really? There you are. That's the why. Two peace signs together. So that takes care of the why.
That's right. Two Y's make a...
The peace within and the peace without. So how's life in your world?
Yeah, things are great. The easy path to enlightenment. I had a vision. I needed a new car, let's put it that way. And just playing around, I had people were saying, "Oh, here's a car. It's just right for you." And then things started to get delayed, and then Spirit said something's not right. We'll keep looking. And it happened twice, and the third time they said, "Just look on your own." You know, people were very kind to help me, but they said, "Just look on your own." And being one who likes to dream a lot, instead of looking for the car I needed, I looked at the car that I dreamed about, and it turned out that in the year that I was looking, like a 2009, I found my dream car, which is a Mazda Miata, and guess what color it is?
I don't know. Maybe pink. It must be pink.
It was pink, and right. Very, very psychic.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I can show you a picture of my, yeah, I can show you a picture of my car. So one owner, as in my dream car, I went down to Florida to get it. That was it. And I just came back. It took me about 3 days to leisurely get there. And so it was a dream. And, you know, I walked away from the car in my mind. I said, it's too much money. Went out for a walk, and Spirit said, well, you know, you just made some money in Bitcoin. You could use that. And Spirit just kept bringing me back. And then they said, do you want to walk away from a dream? I said, no.
Walk away from a dream.
Well, Swami, what a great story. And I know you're manifesting a house and a move. How's that coming?
Oh, well, I think it's all in I needed a car to do other things. I couldn't get around without the car. So I'm about to sell my old car now, but it's a local car. You can't really travel with it. So the next step is, I'm not sure, but I'm doing a bunch of things. I'm getting my courses, Ayurvedic courses. I'm offering them online now through the Wellness Universe. You are familiar with that. I'm having a free wellness this Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm having a free introduction to Ayurveda on the Wellness Universe. So come on.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Come one and all and join the Swami. So I know that this topic, you know, the short path enlightenment is really your favorite topic. And I know that, you know, I've heard rumors to the fact that you can achieve enlightenment pretty well on any strong emotion that you choose. And I think that the emotion that you've chosen is joy. So you want to talk about what's the process for you when you feel a bit grumpy or down, or how do you go from, you know, wow, look at that.
There's my joy. I even named the car Joy. I'm thinking, what should I call it? And I said, I got to call it Joy because that's what it is.
Yeah, wow. Go for joyride.
Go for joyrides. Yeah. Take other people for joyrides.
You know, it's funny you said.
Perfect.
I thought about what you said, that you can achieve enlightenment through any emotion. I do recall reading about Ramakrishna, the great saint from India, and after he was allegedly enlightened through the Hindu path, he then followed the Christian path and became enlightened, and then followed the Muslim path and became enlightened, just to see that every path led to enlightenment. And I thought that was very interesting.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I know Janet was sharing a video recently this morning about the difference between intellectually knowing about enlightenment and the experience enlightenment. I think it was Ken Wilber's video. You want to make a short comment on that? Because I know you were studying in some detail.
It's my hard question for you guys. Like it stretched my mind a lot, because he talked about the spiritual stuff, like the enlightenment is like are the knowing, are learning about it, but then there's the experience, like there's it's the walking, the talk, like the talk part, like, so that's what he's talking about. The you're waking up, but you're growing up at the same time. So like when little, you're in the selfish stage, then you go to the so you're egocentric, and then you're with your family. So you take care of your family, and then like the next order, you might be taking care of like your group, your community, and then the fourth level, then you're like more cosmopolitan. When you're going to get this hit of enlightenment, okay, like if you're getting it at the place where it's just me and my tribe, then you get this spiritual experience, and then you're out to like that's where there'd be people that would be like torturing people, and if you're not going to do this, then you're wrong, and that's where the wars and the torture comes. Like it's like people aren't always ready for the. That's what I was getting from that his talk about, like, you have to, not only do you have to get the spirit, but you have to ramp up to be able to handle it. Does that make any sense, guys, what I just asked?
Yeah, I could maybe try and encapsulate a bit of it. I didn't listen to all of it, but what I really liked what he was saying is there's, enlightenment can be a learning process. You learn about enlightenment, you learn about what it is to be one, you learn about the feeling of that, or intellectually, and it's a pursuit, or you can do what Swami did and go and be on a spiritual path, and all of that is extremely valuable because you're learning about enlightenment. You're growing up to the concept of enlightenment, but the actual experience of enlightenment is completely, absolutely different. It's an aha moment. It's a eureka. It's a flash of lightning. It's an intervention from out of nowhere. It's the flash that goes through the middle of the Kabbalah. It's something separate, but the two, that one is sort of like the left brain approach to it, and one's the right brain approach to it. And what he was saying is, if you've just had the right brain, if you've had the flash of illumination and you don't have the words or the knowledge, then when you go to explain it, you can almost sound like an idiot, because there's no words, there's no language, there's no framework. And that's why what Swami was saying was so cool, was that, this person he was talking about experienced enlightenment from 3 different paths. So he went through the intellectual enlightenment path of understanding to arrive at that experience, and then he could explain it from 3 different points of view in the liturgy, in the structure of the path that led him to that. But the experience was, I think it's safe to say that the experience is far more than that. So Swami, that's sort of my overview of those two. What's your take on it?
Yeah, it's tricky, because initially, I use the analogy of somebody comes out of college. Whatever their major was, for the next year, all they do is see the world through the eyes of that. So, for example, I had a friend, he graduated law school. We went out to dinner in New York City, and as we walked down the street, he goes, "Oh, legally that's this thing," and everything he saw, he had a legal preference to talk about, and it was fun for a few minutes, and after a while it was like, okay. And when I first learned about meditation, all I did was I forced my family to sit down for half an hour, and listen to my speech on meditation. It was horrible things to do to people, and just because you're excited about it. None of that has anything to do with the experience, the pure experience, but it does have something to do, because on one level, there is something touching your soul saying, I'm onto something here. And you're so excited sharing at the level. But the real enlightenment comes, and I think there's stages. Even my guru said to me, even the enlightened person always has more to grow. So if there's a particularly challenging moment, like you asked earlier, what do you do when there's a down moment? And if you catch yourself and say, okay, now I know I'm probably thinking in the wrong direction, and you catch yourself, then sometimes there's that little voice that says, that shines the light in a direction, or it gives you a concept to think about. And to me, that is a bubble of enlightenment, if you will, which proves to you there is light, there is some savior in a moment. If you hold your structure open, if you keep your door open.
Yeah.
You know, if you sit inside, you don't see the sun. But if you open your door or look out your window, there is light. I don't know if I'm
so, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think I can make the question a little more concise now, and it's got to do with like I guess the instant enlightenment or really high enlightenment, or all of a sudden boom at a the way he was talking about it, and the way it's like it all depends where you're at on your stage of growth, like how you're gonna see stuff. So like if you're at the selfish, like say you had this experience, like this Christ consciousness experience, like if you're at the me level, then like I am Jesus Christ. And if you're a little bit higher up at the we level, it's like, well, you have to take Jesus as your personal savior or you'll be damned, or like, so I guess my question is, like, we kind of have to, like, it's one thing to broadcast or go right away for, okay, let's go get everything at K. If we're not grown up enough, if our body's not ready for it, like we might have the power and not be able to use it in a way that's beneficial. Like there's what was really cool about what he was saying today is it's not just like the waking up, it's the growing up and having both, like being able to have the highest waking up with the highest growing up level to be of use to the world. Like an example would be like he was saying, like if we're getting more feminine values, but if it's the feminine values of the like me and my family and just me, then that's not going to help the world as much as having somebody like a female at the top that's like truly integrated. And then if you're using the higher female values, they're going to help the world. Like, does that make more sense, what I'm saying? Or
I think that's similar to the example I was just giving, where if I get a particular situation where I can turn down or negative or see what's wrong with the situation, then the wisdom of the age, relative wisdom, that's allowing me to have the presence of mind to say, hold on, let's not go there. Let's monitor this. My intention is to frame everything in the light. And I know I'm starting to frame things off the light. So what happens if I just hold this space for, and then some wisdom comes, or some insight or some light comes? So the wisdom of the wisdom of waking up and remembering, don't just shut down, oh, see there, prove the negative. That would be an old habit of mine. See that, I knew that was going to happen. It's like, but after a while it gets enough of that stuff already. So it's like, okay, well, let me test it out. It's worked in the past. This is a new challenge. Let me frame it in the light. And then a whisper comes, and a validation comes, and an answer comes, a form of enlightenment comes. So it's experience based on wisdom, based on past experiences of enlightenment.
And that's where the joy comes in. It comes in at that choice point. Yeah. When you're challenged, like we were talking before, removing all the blocks that hold Sally from experiencing her higher self. When you start to remove those, and then life takes on a more prosperous, it's more abundantly showing up for you. the opportunities for synchronicity, which are there in every single moment, start to appear because you're on K rich channel. Even if it's for a second, you'll get it. You'll get an aha. And so, as Swami is saying, you have a choice in every moment. Something's coming up is going to maybe throw you off center, or maybe you're totally wake up grumpy. You have a choice. And in that moment, you could choose something else that takes you more into the light or more in towards the joy, and it will shift you. And that will take you further, that opportunity where you'll have that flash of insight. So when you're totally on that channel, even for a second, say you have a full blast of great rock and roll, for example, you know, when I'm thinking about the way you were describing it, was like tuning in the radio and you just can't get it. You know, you get it, then it's gone, and you get it, and it's gone, and you get it, and it's gone, and you're getting frustrated because you know when you get it that it's such the best rock and roll that you've ever heard, or the best feeling of enlightenment, but well, there it goes again, and then you turn the dial. So really, that's sort of what you're doing. You're playing with your frequency in whatever way you can. Good food, help, being in nature, being grounded, you know, clearing your bioenergy field, you know, staying or what, not being overwhelmed. All these different techniques that we could do, or even going like Swami did, you know, and finding a spiritual path and a guru who, being in his aura of enlightenment, you will be around somebody who has that state of grace, whatever it takes to have that experience. Once you've had that, like the best chocolate cake on the planet, once you've tasted it, you want. And so that's the first step, is that taste of shot of joy, or that best coffee that you ever had. And from then, it's you want more, so you go looking for it in whatever ways that you could do it. And just a comment about what Swami was saying, you know, the different language of trying to explain the unexplainable. When it happened for me, I couldn't say anything. I got myself in a lot of trouble going home with my best friend at Christmas because I had no words. I couldn't find any words to explain what was happening to me. So everybody thought I was aloof, and I was really, really quite rude. But seriously, I had no words. I was just so blissed out, so far into joy, it was wordless. I was in the midst of a wordless sutra. So, yeah, it can be explained. Sometimes it's just unexpressible. But it was joy. There's no doubt it was joy. So hopefully that helps, Janet, and understanding where Kate Wilber's coming from in this.
But I think what it is, it's also like, be the frequency of K Rich. It's one thing to tune into it, but to get the stuff, you have to be there. So, like when you're manifesting, it's not just do. Yeah, that's or you get it. Yeah, so you have to ramp yourself to be that. So, and whatever cleaning up and clearing up, and you have to do to be at the thing that you can receive what you're asking. So, but it's not going to be at the radio station that you're setting that manifestation. It's at that you have to jump the level to get it at the K Rich. So I think that's what is to be what you want to receive.
The difficulty with all this is that, you know, as soon as we get into the 8, 12, 14 paths or 22 paths to enlightenment, or we've got to go to India and sit at the, or we've got to clean up ourselves, or we have this evolution of consciousness we need to go through, and there's stepping stones and you can't miss one. We're on the long path to enlightenment. And that's okay. I don't want to knock it, because we have to start somewhere. But the short path of enlightenment is really what Swami is getting at, is that you have a choice in every moment. What do you want to choose? Even in the worst moment you can imagine, can you come from joy, or can you find the bliss in that moment? Can you feel the gift, you know, the present in the presence, you know, of the moment? Can you grok that moment from that type of emotion? Because it will shift the reality of what you're in, and you'll have that moment of aha. You'll have that moment of bliss, even if it's a microsecond, and you can grow that, just like tending a garden. So yes, you could take. There's nothing wrong with that, and I encourage everybody on the long path. Please stay. Remember, in every moment, there's opportunity for a short path.
Yeah, I think it's the best analogy I have is the concept of love. When you fall in love with somebody, and let's say it's not love at first sight, let's say it's over a year or 2 years or whatever, then you realize you're in love with them. It's not like, okay, did that, done that, put that aside now. You get the opportunity to grow deeper into that love year after decade after. And when we talk about the short path to enlightenment, it's the same thing. It's not like we hit a frequency and we're there and we go, I'm here, because that's ego coming back into recognizing that snapshot. So enlightenment is an aha, and then you just continue. You know, the before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. There's a beautiful, the funniest scripture I've ever heard comes from the Upanishads. It says, when one realizes Brahman, and Brahman meaning the oneness of consciousness, the absolute highest level, quote unquote, of consciousness, where inside I'm one, outside is one, and what's in between is the same oneness. So there's only oneness. So the scripture says, when one realizes they are Brahman, who is there that realizes it, and what is there to realize? Because you can't say, I'm Brahman, because that's two. And Brahman. So that's a state of oneness. And we can all be there at any given moment, because when someone says, oh, you're so calming, your voice is so calming, I don't have any concept in my mind ever to say, let me speak calming to people. I say, let me speak loving. But I don't know I'm achieving that until someone tells me. But it would be a duality. It would be artificial in that sense to say, oh, hello, how are you today? You know, I'm making a mood of it, and that's pretend. So I think for enlightenment, in and of itself, is a long path word, because we have to think of what that word means. Joy. Everybody knows joy. Yeah. Oh, really? Can I be more joyful? So to me, joy and enlightenment and love, divine love, are all kind of the same word. But it's always changing. Sometimes I'm joyful quietly, you know, subtly. I wake up in the morning. I'm not ready for a full-out trumpet-blowing joy, you know. But when I go and look out the window, there's my new pony, my new car out there, going, "Oh man, look at that! You know, I did it. I achieved another level of consciousness. I was able to accept and manifest a new higher dream. Just as moving to this place, I asked, Spirit said to me, God said to me, what are you looking for in a house? And just give me your priority. And I said, paradise. And then a few days later, the realtor sent me a blurb on this place. It said, your own little piece of paradise. You know, holy cow, let's do it. So, but here's the funny thing, and it's probably a whole different show, Tyhson. The biggest, I'm realizing, at least in my case, there's a greater fear of success than there is a fear of failure. When I started to realize I could get this car, and I started to realize I can actually get what I want in life, then I have to up my total game. I have to give up all of my old stories, whatever's left of them. And goodness knows what else, but there was a little bit of panic well, the first night was a ton of panic. The second day was a little bit better. And what did I do when it was so much panic? I went to sleep. I went to bed because I had to just observe it. And I just had to lie down and just let it wash over me, or let it wash out of me. Who knows what. So it's just a very interesting on the short path.
That's exactly what I've been working through for the last couple of months, is to not get overwhelmed when something's going to be really good happening to me. Because, like, if it was a bad thing or a good thing, it doesn't matter. As soon as I get into too much adrenaline and overexcitement, then I'm into the sympathetic frequencies, and it's flight, fright, overwhelm. So I've been learning to be able to stay calm, like when I understand how much cool things life can bring. When it's been that's what I was trying to say, of making my body grow up so I can ramp up more of my receiving and stay calm. So I'd be really, really interested if you could break down that process that you're doing, Swami, like when you're about to like go into like, this is too much, I can't handle it, like it's just way too cool, and just to stay in that where your body's still in parasympathetic and able to receive. Like can you say that again? You just become the observer, or you go to sleep? Like, how do you do it?
I mean, there are, like I was saying earlier, that when I catch myself, when it's mildly going into the off the light, into a negative, into a doubt, and whatever, and I'm aware of it, I go, oh, okay, look at that. But when you're in a whole new territory, you know, they say that you're feeling discomfort means you're stretching your life, and this was a huge next step for me. And a gazillion things come to me. What my parents said about cars and money and what just, it was literally the dam broke, you know. And if you're in the flow and the dam is broken, you have to just get washed away. And the most comfortable way I could accept that was to just, it was like about 9 and 10 o'clock at night anyway. So I said, let me just lie down. And I knew I wasn't in a sleep mode, but I would just, it was easiest for me to just sit there and be as open as I could and watch those thoughts. Oh, because I think those are all coming out. Oh, so remember when your parents said, you know, a sports car, blah, 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 or this car, or this money, or this status, or just watch and just, you know. So learning why those, oh my goodness, no wonder I wasn't manifesting. Look at that thing that was, I think, just uprooted, basically. You know, when you step into a new paradigm shift, it says for my birth sign this month, it's a big paradigm shift. And that's really what it was. I opened up, I accepted something, I don't even know what, but then all this was there. And you're in such a bigger space that these big boulders become pebbles in a sense, but they're still boulders. And you go, holy cow, look what that one was. Look at that tree root. Look at that tree limb coming through. And you don't stop anything, because you've just accepted to open up more and more. And the blessing is to see all that and to work through that. And I don't know if I'm answering your question, though.
You totally. Okay. Yeah, totally. And I loved what you said at the very, very beginning. It's like, do you really want to walk away from a dream? Because like, and sometimes it was yes, often, because it was just so freaking scary. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've done that. I've played the game. Even this game, I said, okay, so if let's imagine I don't get the car. Now, if I really wasn't a good idea, I would feel some relief. I go, sigh of relief. But I didn't feel a sigh of relief. So I said, this is a good dream to have. So that's another.
Okay, thank you.
And I walked away. I said to the guy, pardon?
Oh, that's a good one. You know, is to do the opposite of that, is to, you know, what would it feel like not to have the car? And that doesn't feel very good, right? It feels much more joyful to have the car, and that then you can sort out really what is the emotion that you want to sit with and allow to be the dominant emotion, right?
And then I'll say, so I'd like to take the next step. Okay, I feel better about getting the car. Then comes that old habit. Well, who am I to deserve this car? And then the observation is, holy cow, it came back again. But I know I can't listen to that, so I'm going to just keep going with the flow. You know, so you're learning to keep opening, and not shutting down every time an old pattern comes. And so you're in totally new territory. It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to change it, Swami.
Thank
You're
you.
not trying to make it go away. You become sort of the observer. You're not even necessarily carried away by the river of the motion. You're just watching it and learning what you can. It reminds me of what Krishnamurti said around praise and blame. He said, you know, take what you can and learn from it and leave the rest.
You know, the other day, I've been pretty cool about the car, even-minded, even-tempered, driving it home. I enjoyed the ride. It's teaching me so many spiritual lessons I can't even believe. I never imagined when you follow a vision and you get a vision, everything is perfect. That car is perfect. There's no flaws to the car. It's teaching me spiritual lessons. That's a whole nother conversation. But I went into town.
Sounds like another book. Sounds like the car karma.
The car karma. There's a book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I was thinking The Monk Who Bought His Miata.
That's straightforward.
That's alliteration. The Monk Who Bought His Miata. Very cool. Maybe I'll have you interview that one, Tyson. So anyway, I'm driving into town, and now I'm home. I'm in my home ground. You know, when I was down in Florida and driving up, I was still out of my element, and now suddenly I'm home, and it's like I'm so excited that I'm getting out of the you know, hitting the red zone of excitement. And I get to town, and I see my buddy, and I go, "Hey, check out the window." And he goes, "What?" He goes, "Oh, that's your car." I go, "Yeah." And I'm so over the top, but again, I can't stop it. It's more than I want to be. It's more than I think is, you know, level, but it is what it is. And you know, you're bound to be making mistakes, if you will, but they're gnats. They're little mosquitoes compared to the expansion you've just opened up to.
Yeah.
So I guess what you're saying with all of the opportunities of, you know, being gifted abundance or prosperity or making another career step or a huge change is be aware that you could, you know, it could bring up a lot of learning and fear and all that. But if you stay out of the process of fear, don't get shut down and stay open and observe it, watch it all flow by you without getting attached. And then it will start to level out and leave you alone. And then the other aspect is so now you're not overwhelmed by the negative and all the stories that you learned from your childhood and, you know, you shouldn't have a car that big or whatever the story was. And then I love the part where now you get home and now you're really excited. So you show your buddy, but now you're over the top the other way. And that's okay too. You're learning how to come to, you know, that quiet calm that everything is okay. But you know, you got to feel it both ways. So almost overwhelmed by fear and almost overwhelmed by joy. Great. Balance it out.
I do want to make the point that there are moments where the fear does take over. You know, that's when you're feeling off. But that's when it doesn't last, or one of your patterns of light kick in, and you see how much you've grown. That, you know, it's like you're driving and you're all a little bit into the other lane or something. So when the fear or whatever intense emotion comes, let's just keep it that way, whatever intense emotion overtakes me, it is what it is. It's overtaking me. And I'm just there, you know, it's like, oh my goodness. Let me lie down, or let me go outside, or let me take a Nux Vomica, or let me take some brain tonics. But when it's that big and you can't even get beyond it, those inner experiences do kick in and show you've just withstood that storm, whether it's a positive or a negative storm. And okay, yeah, well, a piece of a branch hit you in the leg or something, but look what you did. Look what you came through. You know, it's like, holy cow.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is fear.
Yeah,
I can't manipulate it to not take.
That's very powerful.
Yeah.
Interrupted. You finished that idea.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing that really helped me with that is to finally learn self-love, self-acceptance, and self-compassion. Like the way you just said, oh, there it is what it is. It's like, instead of like me being really critical and down on myself, like that I can't handle stuff, it's like, oh, isn't that sweet? You just got triggered again. You're just, just be nice to me. So self-compassion is helping me ramp up stuff too. And that was something I had to learn. I learned the last couple of months here. So it's great.
So one of the big takeaways in all this for me is that, like you said, Swami, the biggest fear is really getting what we want. Actually being one with the divine and being gifted what is our birthright, and we get overwhelmed thinking, oh my God, I'm not worthy, or all this stuff comes up that we haven't processed. And wow, what a unique position to be in. Here you are getting what you want, and you're almost in overwhelm. And on the other end of the scale, when you're almost overwhelmed by fear, I have a friend who has had enough experiences like you have to realize that where there's fear, there's a huge gift. And so now he talks about running towards the fear up because he knows he's going to have another huge gift, a whole new awakening that'll be there for him. And that's a great attitude to have as well.
Such a great attitude. Yeah, I mean, because when we're out of our comfort zone, that's when we are truly growing. So the moment fear comes, and I think fear is probably the core of all of our misfortunes, if you will, or all of those negativities. As soon as the fear crops in, it's telling you, hey, bud, you're stretching beyond what you're used to. And I'm going to, put you in your place. And you go, come on, baby, do it. This is it. I'm stretching. Do it. Do your stuff. And then you win, Yeah.
Winning at the game of life. So anybody out there listening to the show, if you want to phone in and ask us a question, it's 1-866-369-7464. And if you want to join us live, just click that Be Live link. That will bring you in right beside us, and people will be able to see you, and you'll get to be on your TV show. And if you don't want to do either one of that, you can, of course, type in the comments, and we'll ask your question. So right up on the screen there is call in toll-free 1-869-7464. And if you can't remember that, all you have to remember is 1-866-Dowsing, and that will bring you in as well.
Dowsing for
wow, what an amazing conversation, and thank you, Swami, for showing up for this. This is got to be one of my favorite topics, is the human struggle. Though even the words we use in our English language are so telling, I'm beside myself. Yeah, you're not in your body, or the human struggle, why struggle, or, I feel something pushing me in the back of the head, so what's that outside force that you're allowing to control yourself? Our language is always really helpful in describing what's going on with us emotionally, and we just think it's language. We think it's something that is only descriptive of something that really has no bearing on what's happening to us. So yeah, understanding that joy is an exuberance that's beyond all understanding, that it's just a great way to be. And in an interview with a person who's almost in constant joy, I said, well, how do you do that? I mean, how do you do that? And she said, I just chose to be in joy, and I liked it. And so I continued to choose to be in joy. And she says, now it's just automatic. I just want to be there. I choose it. My body knows what it feels like. It feels great there. So I continue to choose. So again, it's choice. It's not really complicated. That's the short path to enlightenment. Keep it simple. In doubt, choose joy, or choose an emotion that brings you closer to joy.
Yeah.
And to add to
yeah. Go ahead. What works for me too. You go first, Swami.
ladies first.
Okay, Emily. What works for me now that I know that I did have that flash of enlightenment, I am joy, I am love. One of the questions I can use is like, hey, if I'm not joyful, if I'm not happy, this isn't me. So just let that go and then just stay joyful. That's one of the things I learned how to do.
Yeah,
Okay, take it away, Swami.
That's a great, I mean, that does come to me now. It's like anything other than joy, it's, oh, that's not me. You know, and all these things I was saying was flying past me and going, wow, I used to think all these things are me. I used to attach onto that thought and make that me. And it's not me, you know. And Tyson's idea.
That brings up an interesting point. And that is, you know, Swami, do you believe that we are enlightened? We always have been enlightened. There's no point at which we're not enlightenment. The only thing is we've forgotten that that's our natural state of being. And we sort of clouded ourselves up with our belief systems wherever we picked them up. Could be our family of origin, could be our teachers. We could have had trauma in the birth canal. It could be past life. Who knows? But for some reason, we forgot that we're already one with Source. There is no such thing as separation, and that we're already enlightened. We're already there, and there's nothing to do. Easy to say, much harder to experience. But the beauty of it is, if we're already enlightened, there's a part of us that knows what it feels like, and so we can find our way there or find our way home. It's not something new. It's like it's a God-given gift that's already there. It's like unwrap the present and find it. Does that make sense?
The short path to enlightenment. We're already there, so act as if you're there.
Yeah, be it. Be K-Rich.
Be K-Rich.
I'm living in paradise. There are things I have to work out, but I'm in paradise. I wanted to have the car of my dreams. I have the car of my dreams. There's things for me to work out, but that's the other part to what you were saying earlier, Tyson, is choose joy, but choose joy is also an action, not just in a thought. So choose to do that bring you joy. Choose things to have that bring you joy. And bringing you joy can mean I can now drive further and give courses to people who want to see me than I could before. I can have a car that brings me joy, but it's also bringing other people joy. You know, I'm this perfect stranger saying to me, "Oh, isn't that cute? You're dressed just like your car." You know, you have all sorts of people smiling at you at the restaurant. You know, have joy.
You're bringing joy wherever you go.
Yeah,
and you're driving joy, and you're bringing joy. You're taking people for joy rides.
Does it have a joystick?
Yeah, and you have a joystick, and we could go on and on.
It is. It's a stick.
I think there's a new book. There's a new book here.
I think you're right, and I think I'm going to be writing it tonight because it's already written. But to tie that to, you know, to say, how come I can't know God, which let's just call that joy. How come I can't be fully enlightened? That joy. Well, if I can't barely hold it together when I get a new car of my dreams, why would I expect myself to suddenly just be able to accept the light of God in that moment? You know, you got to work yourself up to that. You got to exercise.
That's what he was saying. Grow up it.
You got to exercise the muscle.
Yeah, that's what Ken Wilber was saying. Yeah. You know, and then the beauty of it is there's Buck's evolution of cosmic consciousness, where he's talking about the evolution of consciousness that, you know, the star children that are coming through now and the rainbow children, you know, are the next evolutionary step for humanity. They're already almost falling in enlightenment coming through as their birth. Doesn't mean that they don't need some guidance and parenting, but they already have this experience. And so we're moving towards we're catching up with the planetary evolutionary intent, where we do Earth stewardship on behalf of all living energy, all sentient responsibility. And that's true enlightenment, is joy for every living aspect that sustains us. And for that, you know, the little moments that I can remember that and waking up and have joy, because paradise, I mean, literally the point on the side is called Paradise Point. So I can get the point anytime I want. And if I forget, I can literally walk down there and say I'm in paradise. So that's a good reminder for me, you know, in case I lose it. And also, it's equally easier for her to walk into paradise, both metaphorically and physically. So it's been a great show. I think we're going to call it a wrap. Swami, I truly thank you for showing up and joining the topic, because every time we do this, we have a new book, a new beginning, and the ending of the old. And you got a new car, a new joystick, joy in your life. Wow, what could be better than that? And the story continues. And Janet, thank you for showing up and bringing Ken Wilber into the conversation and the path to enlightenment and learning how to grow up and not to take it too seriously, and to understand that you too have already achieved some enlightenment. You can take yourself off the hook. You don't have to beat yourself up anymore. You can allow yourself to have what do you call it? Not K-Lad.
K-Rich.
Janet? K-Rich,
I can run. I can, instead of walking away from a dream, I can run full tilt, zero resistance, zero tolerance to resistance, zero tolerance to fear. Just run right into my dream. Permission to fall on my face and fail gloriously.
Great.
So, yeah.
So until next
time,
we're all running into our dreams. And thank you, everybody, for showing up on the show. And please, if you enjoyed the show, show it to your network, tell your best friends, and show up next week, same time, same place, for the healing hour. And who knows who's going to show up and how much fun we can have. And so until next week, have the best week ever. Bye for now.
Joy.
Bye-bye. Joy.
Joy, joy, joy.
I must play.
Bye for now. The Healing Hour. Join us every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time or 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to phone in toll-free in North America, 1-866-369-7464 or 1-866-Dowsing. Phone in to get your questions about dowsing and energy healing answered, and also to receive an energy healing. The Healing Hour is produced on Facebook Live through the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy Facebook page. It's also produced by The Wellness Show, www.thewellnessshow.ca. And so until next week, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise.